Okay, the Mosin Bolt. This is not some arcane science we're going to get into here. It's simply a bolt. To take it out of the action, you probably know this already. You open the action, pull back the bolt, pull the trigger, and the bolt slides right out of the action as you pull it back. And you're left with this. Your basic Mosin Bolt, they're all the same. From the 1891 rifle of the 1890s, all the way up until the very last M44s made in China and everywhere else. They're all exactly the same. They'll come apart the same. Let's go over the parts. Right here, this is your cocking piece. Right back there, that's your cocking piece. Over here, right here on the bottom, we have the connecting bar. See the connecting bar? It's sort of like a little sandwich between the bolt body, right here with the handle, the bolt body, and the bolt head. The bolt head has the extractor claw on it. Right there, that's the extractor claw. Inside there, we have the firing pin and the firing pin spring. That's all there is. Simple, basic parts. There's nothing complex here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hold the front of the bolt like that. We're going to take our other hand, put it on the knob of the cocking piece right there. While gently, just a little bit pulling back, we're going to decock it like that. See? Practice a little bit. Now some bolts will be stiffer than others, but you'll get used to it as you do it enough times. Just sit here and do it 50, 60, 100 times, however long it takes. You'll get it. Pull back and decock it. Just like that. See, recocking is real easy. There's not a lot of pressure there. It's just a spring. Don't be afraid of it. Just like I'm doing here. Just practice it and you'll get it. Okay, now it's decocked. We're going to now grasp the front right here at the bolt head and we're going to pull it and the bar right off of there. Rotate the bolt head, see, rotate the bolt head and slide it right off. See, it goes right back on there. Slide it right off like that. Now that part's apart. Now you're left with this. This is the bolt body, the firing pin, and the firing pin spring and the cocking piece. Now, you'll notice this piece of wood. This is a piece of cheap pine 2x4. Nice and soft. The reason for this is because when I push this firing pin down in here to take this bolt apart, I need it to be able to penetrate the wood without damaging anything. This is soft pine. It will not damage the tip. I could sit here all day long and do this, and I'm not going to damage the tip of that firing pin because this is just a cheap piece of pine, and you're not going to hurt it. You need that pin to go in there like that so it holds itself in place when you unscrew the cocking piece. Otherwise, say this is a piece of hardwood or a hard surface. If you try to do it there, the firing pin will not penetrate, and it'll do that, causing problems maybe for you or for something else you might break. You don't want to do that. So get a piece of pine. I took this one out of a garbage pile, just 2x4. Now, we're going to hold it like this. See how I'm holding it? I'm going to push that tip down into the pine board. You don't have to slam it. It'll penetrate itself. Just down like that. Take my other hand, and I'm going to turn off the cocking piece. Just like that. It just unscrews. Don't be afraid of it. It's not that strong, the spring. And then just let it up. And boom. There you go. There's your firing pin spring. There's your firing pin. It's all apart. Now you can clean it. You can re-oil it. And I'm worried about that. Light oil only. You do not want greases or heavy oils in here, or a lot of oil, because if that happens, when you start to fire this, it's going to start flying out into your face. You don't want that. It's messy, it's unpleasant, and it might even get into the chamber. You don't want that either. Now, to put it back together, same as order, just put the spring back on the firing pin. See, that's your basic firing pin. You put it back in the bolt body. See, just like that. Press it down again. Take your cocking piece, put it back on there, spin it on. Don't be afraid of it. Just spin it on. We'll get to adjustments later. You're going to spin it all the way down until you see the firing pin in the back there is now flush with the cocking piece. This is not a screw. You do not screw that. You don't have to. This is just an alignment mark. Now, to adjust the bolt, the firing pin rather, you take your bolt tool. That's this tool right here. You'll notice that there's 4 notches in it. The last notch back here, that big U-shaped notch, is made to fit right on that firing pin, just like that. See a nice fit there? That is to turn the firing pin, if you need to turn it, for minor adjustments. See, you can turn it nice, no problem. Now say you've lost this. It's gone. You don't have it. Okay, what do I do now? No problem. You take the bar. See that U shape in the back? This also fits on the firing pin. And you can turn it to adjust it, just like that, or to screw it out if you want to, no problem. Okay, well, let's adjust that a little bit, back where it was, so I can put it back together and show you how that's done. Take the bar, put it on. Well, actually first, we have to decock it again. Okay, it's decocked. Take the bar, you slide it on there like that, rotate it around a little bit until you feel it meet up with the firing pin, and it goes down. See the U in the back here? Goes into there, right onto the cocking piece. Then we take the bolt head. We'll slide that on there. Now you see what you got to do here now. See how it's moving? Just do this. It goes right in. That little notch on the top there in the bolt head, that has to go into the bolt body. You just turn it, boom. See, I'll do it again. Let's take it apart. It's all apart. We're going to take this bar, put it on there, slide it down like that, bolt head. Right down in there, just like that. Rotate it, like that. Now, you're going to see the firing pin is sticking up a little bit there. Okay, you want it to be able to just touch the bottom of that little groove there when you do this. See, it's a little bit high. It's not touching, it's too high up. It won't close on it. The little legs there will not touch the bolt face when you have that in there. So what we're going to do now, take that off, and we are going to screw that a little bit further, a little bit tighter down in. That's what the bolt tool's for here. Screw a little bit tighter. You see, it's changed. It's now sticking out slightly. I'll put that back on there. And I'm going to test it again. I don't know if you can see this on camera. I hope you can, but yeah. Put it back on there. You want it in the middle notch, just like so. And it's just touching. That's good. Now, there's going to be some variation here. With these refurbished rifles, there's going to be some firing pins that are going to stick out a slight bit more or a slight bit less. Don't worry about that. The primers on these military cartridges are tough. They are not going to rupture from this. They're used to it. See, this one's okay, but others may not be. They may stick out a little bit, and you're going to have the tool doing this a little bit. It won't quite fit on there. Don't panic about that. And then we recock it. Simply take it, recock it. The bolt's ready to go back in. It's all set. Do it again. Do it 100 times. Take it apart, put it back together again until you are so familiar with it that you can do this in your sleep. Aha! Look at that. The firing pin is stuck. It doesn't want to come off. What are we going to do? No problem. Take the bolt tool, stick it on there, loosen the firing pin. That's it. Then you can turn it off, just like that. All apart. Put it back together again, like so. Back in. Push it down. Cocking piece back on. Screw it all the way down. Don't worry about it. You'll adjust it later. Bar. Back on there. Bolt head. And in there. Check your adjustment. We're back where we should be. Cock it. And you're all done. And that's all there really is to these bolts. Now, if you want to take off the extractor, that's a little bit more complex. Probably should do it now and again to get the grease and dirt stuck behind it. What you have to do, you can see it's flush down here in a little dovetail. You're going to lift up on this, and really what you should do is have it like this. You make a nice hole right in your pine board, just like that. See, little improvised drill. You've made a little divot there in the wood. You'll set this right there so that there's some travel available for that pin. You'll take a brass hammer and you'll tap down on it gently. Do not bend, do not get Hercules on it, because you will snap this. It's a $15 part to replace it, and they do break very easily. This is not the Mauser extractor claw. Nowhere near as easy. I'm not going to demonstrate it here. I don't have the hammer with me. But that's how you would do it if the need arises. Frankly, I ignore it most of the time. Whatever little crap gets in there is not going to hurt anything. it functions. It's something I would only touch if it broke. Okay. Let's put that back together. And what I said here, that's all. See, you don't have to worry about it. You'll get it. Once you've done this enough times, it's intimidating the first time you do it, the first 10 times maybe, but you'll get it. It's not that hard. This is something that Russian conscripts managed to do. Trust me, you have a lot more mechanical experience than some of them had. You'll be able to do it too. Now we have this bolt. This is a refurb. A fresh refurbished bolt, I should say. From one of those red stock refurbished rifles you just bought at Big 5 or Cabela's or whatever. You'll notice with this one, the firing pin is a little high. Not much, just a tiny bit, but not enough to panic about. It's okay. If it was so high that I'd be able to rock it like this on it, that's bad. But if it's just a little bit high, don't worry about that. Don't worry. That's just how they made them. The Russians didn't give a damn. It was fine. It works. And there you go. The Mosin Bolt. Now repeat that 300 times.